See, the longer this thing sits down here in basis and doesn't break down, the more I am concerned for the thesis to the downside, the bearish thesis. But NVIDIA is trying to bounce off the 9 and the 10. And again, I'm up on the day because I sold that rip. But because I held the contracts overnight, trying to be too cute and anticipate a gap down because I know that run up was unnatural, caused me to start the day red. So if I didn't have that position, I'd be decent. But because I have that position, I'm ultimately not looking as good as I should. And now we're trying to see some strength come in here. Look, higher low, higher low, higher low. I see a bunch of red prints here, but bro, there's just too much hopium. People buying the dip. Now, as far as my higher time frame, longer term thesis, yes, that thesis is still valid, but intraday, things will change intraday. And because I have the contracts and I held them overnight, obviously the longer you hold on to those, the more you lose due to time decay theta, one of the Greeks. And see right now, you see this? So now I'm second guessing myself. I'm thinking when we did wash out and crack that level and come down here to the bottom of the range, I should have went ahead and got out of that position that I held overnight. Because, I was damn near almost break even. But, I'm not trading to break even. You feel me? Like, I'm trading to make money. But probably would have been best, let's give my thesis some time to work. And usually, I don't even like to hold positions and swing, especially in this market condition. And what I've noticed is that the longer I stay in a position, generally, the worse the outcome is for me. But again, because I, was trying to be cute and fancy and hold overnight, looking for a gap down, looking for the logical play, because again, I did catch that gap down on the number print. So, maybe that clouded my judgment, but, logically, the market should be heading down. So we'll see, but I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording right here because I don't want it to be too demanding on my PC. Now, see, this is crucial right here. If AMD, it's trying to reject off VWAP, but if AMD crosses over VWAP, especially with some strength, and starts heading back up to the top of the range, like at that point, I'm gonna have to go ahead and stop out, especially if it crosses over with strength, and then starts heading up here to this 120 and crosses over that, because like I've been saying, I use the 120 as a long-term directional indicator, basically. Just too much hopium in the market. Like, I don't know who's buying these dips on a higher time frame, and from a logical standpoint, obviously we should be heading down, cracking to the downside. But there's just too much hopium, too many people thinking the bottoms are in or buying the dip. I don't know what it is, but like I was saying, obviously my long-term bearish thesis is still my thesis, and it's still valid as far as I'm concerned. But on this intraday price action and trading, especially with options, options have expirations, and every day that goes by and you get closer to your expiration, the more theta or time decay you incur. So, I don't have the luxury and the liberty to hold until my thesis, my long-term bearish thesis, validates. I might have to go ahead and cut it and take the loss. And look at this thing, Now coming in with some strength, breaking above VWAP, like I was talking about. That's very concerning for me. But look at that wick. See all these wicks? Look, they're selling into it, selling into it. Again, wick selling into it, rejecting off the 9. Look, wick selling into it, going towards the 9. Wick, indecision. Wick, bullish, but indecision, but bullish because higher low. And then wick, rejection off the 9. And then another rejection right under the 9. Wick to the downside. And then right here, when we were tried to head lower and crack, they bought it back up. That's why you see the wick on the bottom here. And then this is indecision but bearish because we put in a lower low. This is indecision but bearish because we put in a lower low. And this is just indecision, a doja candle. You know, but I like the consolidation under my level, but then we bounced right back up. But it couldn't bounce too far. They sold into it, brought it back down. But ever since then, look, we've been putting in higher lows and higher highs, higher lows and higher highs, grinding our way back up to VWAP. Notice when we tried to cross over VWAP, reclaim it, and break out, the wicks. Look, that's bearish, rejection off VWAP. And then, I mean, this is indecision, kind of bullish because of higher low, but also indecisive because of the wicks on both sides, and more to the bearish side because, yeah, there's wicks on the top and the bottom, but the wick on the top rejected off VWAP. And remember what I said, VWAP can be used as a intraday support and or resistance and a gauge on whether the underlying is bullish or bearish. So right now what we want to see is a crack of the 9 and the 10 and the crack of this level, and I want to see us crack and head lower and then create a new low.